Welcome to Garden Wise Adventures. My name is Malie, and today we're going to do a little bit of a different video. It's January 1st, and I'm ready to look back on last year, see what I did that worked well, see what I did that didn't work very well, and create some goals for next year. Now, I look at goals maybe a little bit different than some other people, and I wanted to share with you my process, both in life and in the garden, because the method that I use works really well for both areas. But before I launch onto a talking video that gets a little bit boring, let's show you what happened outside. Now, isn't this gorgeous? Thank heaven snow occurs in the time of year where you don't have to do work, so you can just sit back and enjoy it. Now, I do have to go shovel the snow off the sidewalks after this video, but we can enjoy it before then. Now, I think the snow is absolutely gorgeous. One of the blessings I had is I have a niece that's living with me right now, and she actually went out and shoveled my driveway that I just found out. And that makes me really happy. But anyway, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about goals. And the first thing that I do when making goals is look back on the previous year. I always create my goals on January 1st so that I can start a new year fresh. And I look back and see what the successes were, both in life and in the garden. Now, in life, some of the successes that I had are the ability I've had to be able to expand my design business that I have and expand my YouTube channel. That's made me really happy. And as for my garden, I've been able to grow a lot more of the food that I eat. I've been able to utilize my garden spaces a lot better. I started my food forest that I need to finish this coming year. And I've been able to find ways to better utilize the space out there. Another thing that I've done that I've been really happy about is I've been able to concentrate more on water-wise landscaping. We've gone through terrible droughts, as you know, in the West, and I've been able to focus my business more on the water conservation side. That's always been a goal of mine. And I've been able to partner with some great groups to help do that. So those are some of the good things that have happened, both in my life and in the garden. When you look back on the good things, you also have to look back and see what didn't work as well as you would like. Some people call those failures. I don't call those failures. I look at it as areas that need improvement and windows of opportunity. And kind of the way to explain that, I need to go back and kind of talk to you a little bit about what has happened in my life. Some people might think I'm a little too optimistic, a little too Pollyanna. If you're older, you know what that means. But I have had a lot of difficulties in my life that I've had to overcome. I've had long-term health issues, some of which had me bedridden for almost a year. My kids have had health issues that have been chronic and long-term. I am a divorced single parent, and I've been that way for 15 years. I've gone through a lot of financial struggles. I went through the tragic death of my mother. She died in a car accident 3 years ago. So there's been a lot of things that I've had to look at and overcome without, descending into the pits of despair. And I kind of want to share with you a little bit how I do that, and then take it to the garden and see how we're going to look at the areas in the garden that didn't go as well as I would have liked, that some people might call failures, how we can look at those and improve those through goals. So I guess the best way to explain that is to share with you examples. So one of the examples was once I got here to Utah, I needed to find a career. I had always been a stay-at-home mom. I'd homeschooled my kids. I did not have work experience. And so I had the opportunity to be able to start at BYU, and I was going to go into their accounting program. I did have a little bit of accounting experience and bookkeeping experience, so I was going into the accounting program. Took the accounting classes, all the prerequisites, was doing really well, was really excited. Then I hit calculus. Now, I hit calculus with with actually zero background in math. And I figured that I would be able to take that class. It was one of the only classes I took that semester. My kids were gone with their dad for the full summer. And it was a summer term that I was taking this class. I hired a tutor who, by the way, is now gardening, and we're still keeping in touch. She was an excellent tutor. Stayed in the math lab almost all day, every day, worked my hardest, and I got a D-, which in and of itself was devastating, because that meant I was not getting into the accounting program. So my entire plan that I had for earning money was out the window. I was not going to be able to get my accounting degree. So while I was in the depths of despair and wandering around the BYU campus trying to figure out what went wrong and what I was going to do, I found a brochure, and it talked about the landscape management program at BYU. Now, I had no idea BYU had a landscape management program. I immediately signed up for that, and it launched one of the happiest times of my life. So that what you would term a failure ended up being a window of opportunity. Now, one thing I do need to say about this is when you have things that don't go right, when you have things that are causing you pain, don't ignore it and say, oh, I'm going to look for the window of opportunity. That's not what I do. What you need to do first is, number one, feel the sadness, feel the pain, feel the fear. Work yourself through it. Sometimes it takes a long time. Sometimes it can take years. And then go out and find a place, nice, safe place, especially if you have kids, to scream out your adult words and be angry at God or the universe or whoever you believe in. And work yourself through the emotions. Then, and only then, can you look for those windows of opportunity. So I did want to add that so you don't think that I just happily go on through life and ignore, bad things. No, I don't ignore the bad things. I do use my adult word. So now let's work our way to goals and how finding windows of opportunity and looking at things that need improvement can lead to goals. This is something that I do every year. I look back on the past and say, where are my what didn't go the way I want it to go, and where are my windows of opportunity? And then I look at those areas and create goals for those areas. I do them both in my personal life and in my business life. So I have two separate sets of goals. So let's just talk about garden goals this year and what I'm going to do for my garden goals. Last year, I started trying to grow more of what I eat. So the area that didn't work as well as I thought it should would be how I planted my crops in succession. I hadn't planned from the beginning of the year, so I didn't have a plan on succession planting. And so that is one of the goals that I have this year, is number one, to figure out how to succession plant better so that I can utilize my growing space a lot better. And then hopefully that way I'll be able to grow more of what I eat and depend less on the grocery stores, because as we all know, it's getting really expensive to purchase groceries. So the first thing I will do is write the goal, and then I will write 3 steps on how I'm going to accomplish that goal. So for example, the goal is to be able to have my succession planting go smoothly this next year so that I can plant through more of the growing season. So to implement this plan, I'm going to need to be able to have the seeds. I'm going to need to be able to know how to make sure the bed's fertility stays up. So I'm going to need to have fertilizer and compost. So I'm going to have a step to lead towards that goal of making sure that I have all of those materials in place so that when I need them, I have them. And then the last step is just going to be to implement it, to maybe put it in my calendar so I don't forget, and make sure that I have everything done step by step so that I can accomplish that goal. So there's 3 steps to accomplish that one goal. Another goal that I'm going to have is to finish my front yard. Now that was a goal that I had last year that did not happen. It didn't happen because my contractor that I had lined up couldn't get to the job last year. I'm going to have to redo that goal for this coming year. I do plan on doing the front yard, but it's going to have to be done differently. I'm going to have to do a lot of it myself, unless I can find a contractor that can do it to get that done. So I'm going to have steps. The first step is going to be to get all the digging done. The second thing I'm going to need to do is line up all the edging. I'm going to need edging for the paths. I'm going to need edging for the open area. Then I'm going to need to be able to do the mulch and the plants. So that will be the last part of it. So I have a plan, I have 3 steps, I have a goal, and so that can be accomplished. I'm going to write all of this down so that and put it on my refrigerator so I can look at it. So that is how I handle goals. And those are my garden goals for this year. And I would love to hear how you utilize goals. If you ever find windows of opportunity that you can turn into a goal, and how you've accomplished those things. And I would love to hear what your goals are for this year. So if you enjoy my videos, please like and subscribe, share that with your friends, share with me your goals down in the comments below, and go have a wonderful garden adventure and a wonderful new year.